Happy Monday, everybody. We have successfully made it through the first portion of a pandemic. I hope you're proud. I have attempted to do this screencast 3 times. And one time I had a teenage boy walk in thinking he was funny and do a little jig in his bath towel trying to make me laugh, which he was successful, and I had to start over. Another time the volume didn't work, couldn't hear my voice. And another time some brothers were not getting along in the background and needed to be tended to. So, to say the least, it has been an interesting week. I don't have a home office. I'm learning as we go. So I am currently using my youngest son's huge headphones that he uses on the Xbox, locked in my daughter's room, and have issued death threats to any child that comes in and tries to interrupt. So hopefully this one will be successful. Hope you guys are doing okay. What an interesting time in history. Hope that you're liking the downtime, which probably hasn't really been downtime for a lot of you, but I've had a lot of good quality time with my family, and we're making the most of it, so things are great here. This week, I really want to take a good look at mini lessons. I hope that you guys will do some research. I know our text in the middle, if you have it, had some good information about mini lessons. Let me just kind of go back over kind of what I'm looking for. It needs to be, sometimes a mini lesson can be as little as 5 minutes. It could be a word study that you do. But we don't want to go over 20 minutes, hardly ever, on a mini lesson. We want to be direct. We want to be explicit. We want to teach one portion of a standard. We want to teach a skill that can be used in their reading. And we want to gently release that to the students. So, I want you to remember the gradual release that we're doing on this. You're going to model something first. It could be a long text that you have, and you split the text into 3 portions. The first portion you're going to read, and then you are going to show what your brain does while you read. Remember, do not underestimate the power of a good reader showing how their brain processes. This is something that students do not see enough of. The first time a student raises their hand to butt in to your time, you ignore them and you let them know that this is your time and they just need to sit back and watch. After you model, the next thing that's going to happen is the students will do the skill together. This is the we do portion of gradual release. And finally, the you do is when you send the students on their own individually to prove that they can do the skill. This is very important. This is where you're going to take a formative assessment, where you're going to quickly assess to see if you can move on to the next skill, what kids are still struggling, what kids you need to pull into small groups. Does enough of the class know it to move on? There's so many different decisions that you will make from that individual portion of the gradual release. In order to have an assessment, you have to create some kind of sheet or task that the kids will do, and I'll show you what I'm kind of thinking of here in a minute with that. When you're creating your Google slide or your PowerPoint or another format that you might do that can be put into the Google Doc folder, is give me a time frame that you would spend on each slide. Remember, that shouldn't go over 20 minutes. And I want you to remember to be creative. The goal is to always end with the kids doing something with a text. But if you can quickly show how this standard or skill relates to real life through some song lyrics, through a picture, through a short movie clip, That is golden with your classroom. So remember, when we're dealing with mini lessons, we want to end with text, but we can always start with pictures, movies, songs, something that they're familiar with. All right, so with all that on your mind, these are the two standards that I chose for you guys to create your mini lessons. One is on point of view and or perspective, so not both. You either choose point of view or perspective, and you do a short mini lesson on that. And then your second mini lesson will be on RL 6.4. Remember, this is RL, reading literature, which means we're talking about fiction, chapter books, picture books, not nonfiction. This standard is all about the meaning of words and phrases that are used in the text. So we're looking at figurative language, connotative meanings. We're looking at word choice that the author chose. We're looking at meaning and or tone. There is a lot to this standard. You just need to break the standard down and choose one of those things for your mini lesson. You might choose figurative language. You could choose connotative meanings. You could choose word choice. You could choose the meaning of words, and you could choose tone. But you're not going to do a mini lesson over the whole standard. This one standard could take weeks to get through because there is a lot to it. When you're done with your 2 mini lessons, if you will put them into the folder Reading 6500 Mini Lessons, I chose 4 of some of the mini lessons I've created in the past and put them in there so that you could see those and you can follow that format if you would like. Hopefully during this time we can plan, we can get ahead, we can go back with more resources than we had whenever this all started. And that's the purpose of sharing your mini lessons in this folder, so that we can have some extra resources. Hopefully, some of you guys will look at the others, the mini lessons they created, and go, man, I like that. I'm going to use that and steal, and that is perfectly fine. The other thing I want you to do is put your name and phone number. This is mine. If you'd like to text, that would be great. If you call, I probably won't answer if I don't know your phone number. But if you ever need anything, this is my phone number. Feel free to text anytime. This is so that you guys can kind of stay in touch, because I need you to sign up for a lit study. We're going to do these on Zoom. It'll be fun, just a virtual lit study. We're going to do them April 6th or April 13th. You need to sign up for one of these 4 slots. And during that time, we will get on. Now, the thing that I need you to do is sign up and then see who else signs up for this. And then we have to choose a text that everybody can get and read. That might be a little difficult, so we'll kind of maneuver through this as we go. But for now, if you could just sign up, let's try to do more than 5 per group. If we have to have a group of 6, that would be okay. And I'll read those same texts, and we'll have lit studies together. And this just means on April 6th from 5 to 5:30, there will be a group on Zoom with me, and we'll be doing our lit studies together. We will also be doing a topic study, so if you could also sign up for that. Same, choose one of these 4 time slots, sign up. This is a little bit further away, so I will give you a list of topics that you can choose from. For now, you just need to sign up for one of these slots. It's during our regular Monday night time that we would typically be meeting, so shouldn't be too big of a problem. Now, let me just kind of go through this PowerPoint. This was a nonfiction standard, and I always like to start my mini lessons just with a focus question that the kids can come back to, and it kind of helps me focus in and not get too, it just helps me stay on the straight and narrow, because sometimes as a teacher it's easy to get off topic. So this is a focus question. As a reader, how do we summarize a nonfiction text? And I'll keep on going back to that focus question just to help us. This is what I'm talking about. This is just a sheet that I created on Word using the shapes to help the kids learn how to summarize. Here's the main idea that we're going to put here, and then just a simple web. But I want to give every kid 1 or 2 of these, maybe a front or back, so that when we do the we do section as a group, they can come up with one of these, and then they can flip it over, and on the back side they can do the I do, where or the you do, sorry, where they will be on their own and they will show me that they can summarize without any help from anybody else. On this mini lesson, start with a video. This is just a short video clip of kids that are trying exercise bikes in the classroom. So we started with that, and then after that we went to an infograph. This was our we do. So they looked at this and had to summarize this. There's lots of good information. So choosing, synthesizing information was kind of what we were working on here. Also, it's a pretty good article if you want to know what's going to happen to you if you just sit down and do nothing during this time of quarantine. Might make you get up and exercise a little bit. And then it was time to do it on our own. So we have a Newsella article that I gave to them and sent them off on their own, and they had to show me that they could do this. And so this is just what I'm looking for. What I would like for you to do on yours is somewhere on the slide, just put how much time you'd spend on each of these slides. If you just want to use my PowerPoint and flip stuff out and put new stuff in, you are more than welcome to do that. This was just an easy way. Once I created one, I could just change focus questions. I could reinsert different task sheets for them to do, and it became a pretty easy way for me to do that. So that's what I need you to do this week. Create a mini lesson, sign up for your lit study, sign up for your topic study, and if you have any questions, do not hesitate to either email or text me. I'd be happy to help you in any way that I can. Let me know if there's anything I can do. Hope you guys are surviving, and I miss seeing you guys in class. Have a great week.